The first thing Alpha King Dante Moreau felt after the bullet shattered his spine was humiliation. Not the pain, not the silence in his legs. Humiliation, because the strongest alpha in the Eastern Syndicate, feared by 5 territories, obeyed by men twice his size, was crying in a rehabilitation ward while another man wiped blood from his mouth and told him not to move. The sterile light above him buzzed like a dying insect. Harsh, clinical, the kind of light that revealed every weakness, every flaw, every piece of broken Alpha King on display for anyone who walked past his glass-walled room. Dante tried to push himself upright anyway. His arms trembled with effort. Muscles screamed. His upper body responded, strong, functional, remembering what it meant to dominate. His legs did nothing, just dead weight. Useless. 2 limbs that might as well belong to someone else. The doctor standing near the door didn't stop him. He only watched with careful neutrality, clipboard pressed against his chest like a shield, as Dante's arms gave out and he collapsed back into the wheelchair with a sound that echoed like defeat. Alpha Moreau, the doctor said carefully, using the title like a courtesy rather than truth. You need to accept, get out. Dante's voice came out raw, broken. Nothing like the command that used to make grown men confess their sins. The doctor's mouth tightened. Professional concern warred with self-preservation. Self-preservation won. He left quickly, white coat disappearing through the doorway, footsteps retreating down the hallway with the distinct rhythm of relief. The room cleared fast after that. Nurses, physical therapists, the security guard who'd been posted outside since the incident. Everyone who could leave did. Everyone except one. The Black Omega Maid. No, care attendant, the hospital paperwork said. Assigned because Dante's former partner had refused to sign the caregiver release form. Had refused to take responsibility for an alpha who couldn't walk. Had refused everything except the legal right to strip their shared accounts. That betrayal still burned hotter than the bullet. The Omega stood quietly behind the wheelchair, dark curls tied back in a practical knot, brown skin glowing like warm amber under the fluorescent lights. His uniform was plain, long sleeves, modest cut, high collar. No scent markers displayed, no designation badge beyond the small Omega required by hospital policy. An Omega who deliberately muted himself in an Alpha ward. Unusual, suspicious. Dante's instincts, the ones that had kept him alive through 12 years of mafia warfare, screamed warnings. Why are you still here? Dante snapped, not bothering to turn around. The Omega's voice came steady, calm. Because you tried to stand without locking your spine brace. Dante laughed harshly. The sound scraped his throat. You think I care if I fall? I think you care about not cracking your skull open on tile. The Omega moved then. Fast, controlled, professional. Placing one hand at Dante's throat to check his pulse, the other bracing his shoulder to prevent him from lunging forward again. Not dominance, not submission, grounding. The Alpha froze, not because of the touch, though it was firm, confident, nothing like the hesitant brushes he'd received from other caregivers. But because no Omega had touched him like that since before. Breathe, the Omega said quietly, or you'll pass out. Your blood pressure is spiking. I can feel it. Dante hated that he obeyed. Hated that his body responded to the calm authority in that voice. Hated that his alpha instincts recognized something in the stranger that felt like safety. His chest rose and fell. Once, twice. The panic receded slowly, leaving behind exhaustion and shame. The Omega's hands withdrew. My name is Theo, he said. I'm your assigned care attendant for the next 7 days. After that, you can request someone else if you prefer. 7 days. 1 week with a stranger who'd just seen him at his weakest. 1 week to endure pity disguised as professionalism. 1 week before he could die quietly without witnesses. I don't need a caregiver, Dante said coldly. The hospital disagrees. Theo moved around the wheelchair to face him directly. Amber eyes met Dante's without flinching, without lowering in automatic Omega deference. You have 2 options. Accept help, or get transferred to long-term care with restraints and sedation. Dante's hands curled into fists against the armrests. Chrome bit into his palms. They can't. They can, Theo interrupted gently. You're classified as a fall risk and a danger to yourself. The attending physician has authority to override your medical decisions if you continue refusing basic care. The words landed like punches. Fall risk. Danger to yourself. Basic care. Everything Dante Moreau was not supposed to be. So, Theo continued, crouching down so they were eye level. We can do this the easy way. You let me help you transfer back to bed, take your medication, and get some actual sleep, or the hard way, which involves security, sedatives, and you waking up with N4 and restraints you can't remove. His voice stayed even. Kind, almost. But the message was clear. Dante had no power here. Not anymore. Fine, Dante bit out. Theo nodded and stood, already moving the wheelchair into position beside the hospital bed with practiced efficiency. Arms around my shoulders, Theo instructed. On 3, you're going to use your upper body strength to pull yourself across. I'll support your weight and guide your legs. Don't try to help with your lower body. Just let me handle it. Dante wanted to refuse. Wanted to snarl that he didn't need an Omega's hands on him. Wanted to prove he could still do this alone. But his body betrayed him. His arms shook as he gripped Theo's shoulders. The Omega's muscles were solid beneath the uniform, not bulky, but strong. Functional. The kind of strength built from years of lifting patience instead of weights. 1, 2, 3. Dante pulled. Theo lifted. For 3 seconds, Dante was airborne, suspended between wheelchair and bed, completely dependent on another person's strength. Then he was lying down, legs arranged properly, spine aligned, blanket pulled up to his waist with efficient care. Theo stepped back, not even breathing hard. Good, he said simply. Now medication. He poured water into a cup, shook pills from labeled bottles, and held them out. Dante took them without argument. He was too tired to fight, too broken to care. Theo dimmed the lights, checked the monitors one last time, and moved toward the door. Theo, Dante said hoarsely. The Omega paused, hand on the doorframe. Why did you request this assignment? Silence stretched between them. Then Theo turned slightly, profile illuminated by the hallway light spilling through the doorway. Because no one else wanted it, he said quietly. And I don't believe in leaving people to suffer alone. He left before Dante could respond. The Alpha King lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling the ghost of Theo's hands still on his shoulders. Strong, steady, unafraid. Outside his room, he heard whispers. Paralyzed from the waist down, his Omega left him. Syndicate's already talking about replacement. The words confirmed what Dante already knew. His reign was over. His power was gone. His future was a wheelchair and pity and slow decline into irrelevance. But as sleep finally claimed him, Dante's last thought wasn't about the Syndicate or his legs or his former Omega. It was about amber eyes that didn't look away, and hands that steadied instead of pushing down. Dante woke to his phone vibrating against the bedside table. Not his personal phone. That one had been destroyed in the shooting, along with most of his ribcage and his ability to walk. This was the emergency Syndicate line, the one only his inner circle had access to, the one that only rang when territories were burning or alliances were breaking. He grabbed it with hands that still remembered how to move. 3 messages from Marco, his lieutenant. The elders are meeting without you. They're discussing temporary leadership transition. Call me when you can. Temporary. The word tasted like poison. Dante tried calling. The line rang 4 times before Marco answered, voice tight with tension. Boss, what's happening? Rossi family's making moves on the East Docks. They're saying you can't hold territory from a hospital bed. The elders are listening. Dante's jaw clenched. And my Omega? Silence on the other end. Too long. Too heavy. Marco. He filed dissolution papers yesterday, Marco said quietly. Legal separation. Took his name off all joint accounts. Moved his stuff out of the penthouse. He's staying at the Bellamy Hotel under Rossi family protection. The words didn't land at first. They hovered in the air like smoke, too absurd to be real. His bonded Omega, the one who'd worn Dante's claim mark for 2 years, who'd shared his bed and his secrets and his throne, had abandoned him, not just left, fled to his enemies. When? Dante's voice came out hollow. While you were in surgery, Marco admitted. He was gone before you woke up, before Dante even knew if he'd survive, before the doctors confirmed the paralysis, before anything except the knowledge that Dante Moreau was wounded. And that was enough. The bond. He's claiming it was never properly sealed, Marco interrupted. His lawyer says the mark was cosmetic, that you never completed the full ritual, that he's legally unclaimed. Lies. All lies. But lies that would hold up in Syndicate court because Dante was too proud to have documented their private bond ceremony. Too traditional to involve lawyers in something sacred. Now that tradition was a weapon pointed at his throat. What do the elders want? Dante asked. They're calling it a medical leave, Marco said carefully. Temporary transfer of authority while you recover. 6 months, maybe longer. They're saying it's for your own good, that you need time to heal, that the Syndicate needs active leadership. Translation: they thought he was finished, that paralysis made him unfit to rule, that a Mafia King in a wheelchair was a contradiction too embarrassing to acknowledge. Who are they backing? Vittorio. Dante's blood turned cold. Vittorio Marconi, 45, ambitious, ruthless, the kind of alpha who smiled while ordering executions, who'd been circling Dante's territory for years, waiting for weakness. Now he had it. How long do I have? The vote's in 3 days, Marco said. If you don't show up, they'll approve the transfer by default. Boss, can you even leave the hospital? Dante looked down at his legs. Still useless, still silent. I'll be there, he said. Boss, I'll be there. He ended the call. The door opened. Theo entered carrying a breakfast tray and a bundle of clean clothes. He took one look at Dante's face and set everything down on the table. Bad news. The worst. Theo waited, not pushing, just present. Dante had no reason to trust him. No reason to confide in a stranger assigned by hospital bureaucracy. No reason to show vulnerability to an Omega he'd known for less than 12 hours. But the words came anyway. My Omega left me, Dante said flatly. Stripped the bond markers. Emptied the accounts. Moved into enemy protection before I woke up from surgery. Theo's expression didn't change. No shock. No pity. Just careful attention. And the Syndicate, questioning my fitness to lead, voting on temporary replacement in 3 days. Can you attend? In a wheelchair? Dante laughed bitterly. I can barely transfer from bed to chair without help. How am I supposed to command respect? How am I supposed to lead when I can't even stand? Theo moved closer, arms crossed. Is that what you think leadership is? He asked quietly. Standing? Physical dominance? The ability to intimidate through size. In the Mafia? Yes. Then you've already lost. Theo's amber eyes held steady. Because if your power was only in your legs, it died when that bullet hit your spine. And if that's true, then maybe you didn't deserve your throne in the first place. The words should have enraged him, should have triggered his alpha dominance, should have made him lash out at the insubordinate Omega who dared question his authority. Instead, they landed like truth. I can teach you how to exist in that chair, Theo continued. How to transfer without help. How to manage pain. How to move through the world with a body that doesn't work the way it used to. He stepped closer. But I can't teach you how to lead from it, Theo said. That's something only you can prove. To them, to yourself, to everyone who's already decided you're finished. Dante stared at him, at this Omega who'd been assigned to him by accident, who had no stake in Syndicate politics, who had every reason to treat him like a paycheck and nothing more. Why do you care? Dante asked hoarsely. Theo's expression shifted. Something old and painful flickered behind his eyes. Because I've watched powerful men fall before, he said quietly. And I've learned that the ones who survive aren't the strongest. They're the ones who refuse to give up, who adapt instead of breaking, who find new ways to be dangerous. He held Dante's gaze. You have 3 days, Theo said. Use them. Then he handed Dante the breakfast tray and left to prepare the morning medications. Dante sat alone with cold eggs and colder truth. His omega was gone. His throne was slipping. His body was broken. But somewhere in the previous 12 hours, a strange omega with steady hands and unflinching eyes had decided Dante was worth saving. And that was more than anyone else had offered. Physical therapy started at 8 a.m. Theo arrived exactly on time, wheeling in equipment that looked more like medieval torture devices than medical tools. Parallel bars, resistance bands, a tilt table that made Dante's stomach churn just looking at it. We're starting with transfers, Theo announced, setting up the equipment with brisk efficiency. The elders won't take you seriously if you can't get in and out of that chair without help. Dante glared at the wheelchair, chrome and leather, state-of-the-art medical engineering. His new prison. I don't need... Yes, you do. Theo cut him off without apology. Right now, you're dependent on others for basic movement. That makes you vulnerable, weak. Every person who has to lift you knows you need them more than they need you. The words stung because they were true. So we fixed that, Theo continued. I'm going to teach you how to transfer independently. It won't be pretty at first. You'll probably fall. You'll definitely hurt. But by day 3, you'll be able to move yourself without assistance. In 3 days, I have to face the Syndicate elders, which is why we're starting now instead of later. Theo positioned the wheelchair beside the bed. Arms on my shoulders, same as yesterday. But this time, I want you to pay attention to how I'm distributing your weight, how I'm using momentum instead of pure strength, how I'm positioning your legs. Dante wanted to argue, but Theo was already moving, hands firm on his ribcage, voice calm with instruction. Your upper body is still strong, Theo said. Stronger than most alphas even. Use that. Your legs aren't weight-bearing anymore, but they're not useless. They're counterbalance. They're momentum. They're part of the system even if they can't carry you. He guided Dante through the transfer with practiced patience. Once, twice, 3 times. By the 4th repetition, Dante started to understand the physics of it. The way his arms could compensate. The way his core muscles could stabilize. The way momentum could replace strength. Good, Theo said. Now do it without me. Dante's heart rate spiked. I'll fall. I'll catch you. You can't. I've caught bigger alphas than you, Theo interrupted. His amber eyes held steady. No fear, no doubt, just calm certainty. Try. Dante gripped the armrests, positioned his body the way Theo had shown him, counted to 3 in his head, pushed. For 1 terrifying second, he was airborne. Then he crashed onto the bed, legs tangling, spine screaming protest. But he'd done it, without help, without Theo's hands supporting him. Alone. Again, Theo said. They repeated the drill 15 times. By attempt 12, Dante's arms shook with exhaustion. By attempt 15, he wanted to scream, but he also succeeded 14 out of 15 times. The doctor appeared at the door during the final attempt, clipboard in hand, expression disapproving. This is too aggressive, the doctor said sharply. Alpha Moreau needs rest, not. Alpha Moreau needs independence. Theo interrupted without turning around. Rest won't help him face the Syndicate in 3 days. This will. The doctor's jaw tightened. I could report you for exceeding care protocols. You could, Theo agreed mildly. But then you'd have to explain to his lieutenant why you prevented a Mafia King from preparing for the most important meeting of his life. Silence. The doctor left without another word. Dante stared at Theo with new understanding. This Omega who wore modest clothing and suppressed his scent, who spoke with quiet authority, who challenged doctors and alphas without flinching. This was not a typical caregiver. Who are you really? Dante asked. Theo paused in his equipment organizing. His hands stilled on the resistance bands. Someone who knows what it's like to be underestimated, he said quietly. Someone who survived by being smarter than the people who wanted me weak. He met Dante's eyes. Someone who requested this assignment specifically, Theo admitted. The air between them shifted. Why? Because I watched your case notes, Theo said. Paralyzed Mafia King, abandoned by bonded Omega, facing political removal, zero support system, high suicide risk. His voice softened. Everyone else saw a liability, Theo continued. A patient who'd probably give up, who'd refuse treatment, who'd make their job difficult and then die anyway, making all their effort meaningless. He stepped closer to the wheelchair. I saw someone worth fighting for, Theo said. Someone who might actually survive if given the right tools, the right support, the right reason to keep going. Dante's chest tightened. You don't even know me. I know your reputation, Theo countered. The Alpha King who built the Eastern Syndicate from 3 territories to 5. Who survived 2 assassination attempts before this one. Who earned loyalty through strategy instead of just fear. His amber eyes blazed with something fierce. That man didn't die when a bullet hit his spine, Theo said. But he will die if he believes his power was only physical. If he gives up before proving everyone wrong. Dante couldn't breathe, couldn't speak, couldn't do anything except stare at this Omega who saw him as more than broken. Why? He whispered. Theo's expression shifted to something vulnerable, painful. Because someone should have fought for me once, he said quietly. And no one did. He turned back to the equipment before Dante could respond. Rest for an hour, Theo instructed, professional mask sliding back into place. Then we work on wheelchair mobility. You need to be able to navigate that chair like an extension of your body, not a cage. He left before Dante could ask what he meant. The Alpha King sat in the sterile room, feeling the echo of Theo's words settling into his bones. Someone who knows what it's like to be underestimated. Someone who requested this assignment specifically. Someone worth fighting for. Outside, he heard nurses whispering about the strange Omega who acts like he owns the place. Dante smiled for the first time in 9 days. Strange indeed. The threat came at midnight. Not a phone call, not a message. A visitor. Dante woke to the sound of his door opening. Hospital security should have stopped anyone from entering after visiting hours. Should have checked credentials. Should have protected a patient who'd survived 1 assassination attempt already. Should have. The figure in the doorway wore expensive shoes. Custom suit. The kind of tailoring that screamed money and power. Vittorio Marconi. The Alpha who wanted Dante's throne. You should be asleep, Vittorio said pleasantly, closing the door behind him. Healing requires rest. Dante's hand moved instinctively toward the call button. Vittorio raised 1 finger. I wouldn't. Your night nurse has been temporarily reassigned. Equipment malfunction in the East Wing. Very urgent. She'll be gone for at least 20 minutes. Convenient. Calculated. Dangerous. Dante forced his voice steady. What do you want? To offer you a courtesy. Vittorio moved deeper into the room, footsteps silent on tile. The elders are voting in 3 days. You know this already. What you don't know is that the vote is merely a formality. He stopped beside the window, looking out at the city lights. They've already decided, Vittorio continued. Temporary leadership transfer. 6 months minimum. Possibly permanent if your condition doesn't improve. My condition is paralysis. Vittorio's tone stayed pleasant. Sympathetic, almost. I'm not saying this to be cruel, Dante. I'm saying it because someone should be honest with you. You can't walk. You can't patrol territory. You can't physically enforce dominance. You can't protect what's yours. He turned to face Dante directly. You're a liability now, Vittorio said gently. To yourself, to the Syndicate, to everyone who depends on stable leadership. The elders see that. Your lieutenants see that. Even your former Omega saw that. The words landed like surgical cuts. Precise, deliberate, devastating. So here's the courtesy, Vittorio continued. Step down voluntarily. I'll ensure you receive full medical benefits, lifetime pension, protected retirement. You'll live comfortably, safely, without the stress of trying to rule from a wheelchair. And if I refuse? Vittorio's smile dimmed. Then the vote happens anyway, but instead of a graceful exit, it becomes public humiliation. The elders will cite your abandonment by your bonded Omega as evidence of instability. They'll question your judgment, your fitness, your ability to inspire loyalty. He leaned against the window frame. They'll make an example of you, Vittorio said quietly, to show what happens when alphas become weak, when leaders become burdens, when kings forget that power requires strength. Dante's hands curled into fists against the blanket. You have 3 days to decide, Vittorio said. Retire with dignity or be removed with shame. Either way, the Syndicate moves forward. He walked toward the door, paused with his hand on the handle. I'm not your enemy, Dante, he said, voice almost kind. I'm simply the inevitable next step. The Syndicate needs leadership that can stand, that can fight, that can command respect through presence, not memory. He opened the door. Choose wisely, Vittorio said. Then he was gone. Dante sat in the dark, chest heaving, mind racing. Every word Vittorio spoke was calculated, designed to break him, designed to make him believe the fight was already lost. But underneath the manipulation, Dante heard truth. The elders had decided. The vote was theater. His reign was already over. His phone buzzed. Message from Marco. Rossi family just took the East Docks. Our guys didn't even fight back. They're saying there's no point defending territory that's changing hands anyway. Dante's territory, bleeding away while he lay trapped in a hospital bed. Another message. The lieutenants are asking if they should prepare transition protocols. His own men, already planning for his removal. Dante threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall and shattered. The sound echoed like his future. Broken, irreparable, finished. He tried to stand. Instinct, desperation, denial. His legs didn't respond. He crashed to the floor beside the bed, pain exploding through his healing spine. The impact knocked the breath from his lungs. His vision blurred. He lay there on cold tile, Alpha King reduced to broken body, and felt something inside him crack. Not his spine, his hope. The door burst open. Theo rushed in, dropping to his knees beside Dante with wide eyes and steady hands. What happened? I fell. Dante's voice came out hollow. You tried to stand. Not a question. An observation. Without your brace. Without support. Without... I tried to be who I was before. Dante laughed bitterly. Stupid. Theo's hands moved quickly, checking for injuries, assessing damage. Professional. Efficient. Gentle. Can you lift your upper body? Yes. Then you're not that broken. Theo positioned himself, arms around my shoulders. We're getting you back in bed. Leave me here. No. Theo? I said no. The Omega's voice hardened. You don't get to give up on the floor at midnight because some rival alpha whispered poison in your ear. You don't get to quit before the fight even starts. You don't get to prove Vittorio right. Dante's head snapped up. You heard. I hear everything. Theo's amber eyes blazed. This hospital has thin walls and I have excellent hearing. So yes, I heard Vittorio's threats. I heard his manipulation. I heard him try to convince you that a wheelchair makes you worthless. He gripped Dante's shoulders. And I'm telling you he's wrong, Theo said fiercely. Not because I'm naive. Not because I pity you. But because in 2 days you've learned to transfer independently, navigate that chair, and manage pain that would break most alphas. You've done more healing in 48 hours than most patients do in months. Tears burned Dante's eyes. That's not enough. Then make it enough, Theo interrupted. You have 3 days. Stop wasting them on self-pity. Stop listening to people who want you weak. Stop believing your power died when your legs stopped working. He leaned closer. Prove them wrong, Theo whispered. All of them. Vittorio, the elders, your former Omega, every single person who's already decided you're finished. How? By showing up, Theo said simply. By rolling into that meeting in your chair with your head high. By commanding that room the same way you commanded territories. By being so undeniably powerful that they forget about your legs. Dante stared at him. At this Omega who believed in him for no logical reason. Who stayed when everyone else fled. Who demanded more instead of accepting less. Help me up, Dante said hoarsely. Theo smiled. Together, they got the Alpha King off the floor. And for the first time since the bullet, Dante started to believe survival might be possible. Not recovery, not walking again, not returning to who he was before, but survival as something new, something adaptive, something dangerous in different ways. The next morning, 3 things happened. First, Dante received legal confirmation that his former Omega had filed for permanent separation. The bond was officially dissolved. All shared assets transferred or frozen. Second, Marco called with news that 2 more lieutenants had quietly approached Vittorio about positions in the new regime. Third, Theo was threatened. Not openly, not violently, just whispers in the hospital corridors. Nurses talking loud enough to be overheard. Staff members who suddenly refused to assist with Dante's care. Just an Omega Maid, playing hero, probably hoping for a claim mark payout. The words were poison designed to infect, to make Dante doubt, to make him question Theo's motives, to make him push away the one person still fighting for him. And as Dante listened to those whispers, rage and fear and desperation twisted into something toxic. By evening, when Theo arrived for their session, Dante was ready to burn everything down, including the fragile trust they'd built. The mistake was coming, and neither of them would be prepared for the damage. The mistake happened on day 9. Dante was alone when he heard the nurses talking outside his door. Just an Omega Maid playing hero, one whispered. You know he's hoping for a claim mark payout. Of course, what else would he want from a crippled Mafia King? Probably figures Dante's desperate enough to bond anyone who stays. Laughter, quiet and cruel. The voices faded down the hallway. Dante's hands gripped the wheelchair armrests until chrome bit into his palms. The words burrowed under his skin like parasites. Claim mark payout. Of course. Why else would an unclaimed Omega volunteer for this assignment? Why else stay when everyone else fled? Why else touch him with such careful intimacy, such deliberate care? Theo was playing the long game, waiting for Dante to weaken, waiting for desperation to override pride, waiting for the moment when a paralyzed Alpha King would bond anyone just to feel less alone. Smart, cruel, effective. Dante's phone buzzed with another message from Marco. More bad news. More territory lost. More whispers that the Syndicate needed real leadership. The rage built like pressure in a sealed container. By the time Theo arrived for the evening session, Dante had convinced himself of the conspiracy, had built an entire narrative of manipulation and opportunism, had armed himself with accusations sharp enough to draw blood. When Theo entered carrying physical therapy equipment, Dante was ready. We need to talk, Dante said coldly. Theo set down the equipment. About what? About why you're really here. Something flickered in Theo's expression. Caution. I've already told you. You've told me lies. Dante's voice dropped to the register that made grown men confess. You requested this assignment. You stay late. You touch me more than necessary. You defend me to the elders. Theo went very still. You think I don't see it? Dante continued, venom rising. The hovering, the care, the perfect fucking Omega routine. You're waiting for me to weaken enough to offer you a bond. Waiting for the payout when I die and you inherit. Stop. The word came out quiet. Too quiet. Theo's hands moved to his wrist. to the thin medical-grade band most Omegas wore to suppress scent markers in hospital environments. He removed it. His scent bloomed, untouched, unclaimed, virgin. The pheromone signature was unmistakable. Pure Omega with no alpha marking, no bond residue, no history of intimacy. It filled the room like a declaration, overwhelming in its honesty. Dante's alpha instinct screamed in recognition and hunger. "I've never been claimed," Theo said quietly. "Not once. Not ever." His amber eyes held Dante's with devastating clarity. "I've had offers," Theo continued. "Rich alphas, powerful alphas, syndicate leaders who promise protection and luxury and everything an Omega supposedly wants." He stepped closer. "I refused them all," Theo said. "Because I won't submit to men who only love power, who only see Omegas as property, who only want bonds that prove dominance." The air between them crackled with tension. "I don't want your fucking bond, Dante." Theo's voice stayed level, but something raw bled through. "I wanted your survival. I wanted to see if an Alpha King could be more than his body, more than his legs, more than his ability to physically dominate." He grabbed his bag from the chair. "I was wrong," Theo said. "You're just like the others. You only believe in power you can see. You only trust what you can control. You only value what serves your ego." He walked toward the door. Dante's chest constricted. "Theo, I'll request reassignment in the morning," Theo said without turning. "Someone else can watch you give up." The door closed. Dante sat alone in the sterile light, the ghost of Theo's virgin scent still lingering in the air, and realized, too late, that he'd just destroyed the only person who hadn't abandoned him, the only person who'd chosen him not despite his weakness, but because of his potential. The clock on the wall ticked forward, each second a reminder of his mistake, each breath tasting like regret. Dante didn't sleep, couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Theo's face, the careful blankness, the controlled hurt, the virgin scent blooming like an accusation. "You're just like the others." The words circled his mind like vultures. He tried calling Theo's phone. It went straight to voicemail. He tried texting. No response. The silence was its own punishment. 3 a.m. his door opened. Theo entered carrying a standard care handover file. Professional. Distant. He didn't make eye contact. "I'm finishing the transition documentation," Theo said quietly. "Your new attendant starts tomorrow morning. Her name is Patricia. She's experienced with long-term paralysis cases. A female caregiver for a gay Mafia King. The hospital's subtle fuck you for being difficult." Dante's throat tightened. "Theo, I've included notes on your physical therapy progress, medication sensitivities, and transfer techniques." Theo set the file on the bedside table with precise care. "She'll need to know about your phantom pain episodes and your refusal to take sedatives after threats." Each word was professional. Each word was goodbye. "I'm sorry," Dante said hoarsely. Theo's hands stilled on the folder. Silence filled the room like water rising. "I was wrong," Dante continued. "I was angry, humiliated. Everyone I trusted has abandoned me or betrayed me. And his voice cracked. "I saw conspiracy where there was only kindness." Theo didn't turn around. "I don't expect forgiveness," Dante said. "But you deserved better than my accusations. You deserved the truth. Which is that you scare me." The admission came out raw, honest. "Because you stayed when everyone else left. Because you see me as more than this chair. Because you make me want to survive instead of just exist." Theo's shoulders tensed. Then slowly he turned. His amber eyes were wet. "I stayed longer than I should have," Theo said quietly. "Hospital policy limits attendant assignments to 7 days for emotional detachment. I requested extensions. 3 of them." Dante's chest ached. "I told myself it was professional," Theo continued. "That I was just ensuring proper care transition. That it meant nothing." He pulled something from his pocket. A small object wrapped in faded cloth. "But I'm a liar too," Theo whispered. He unwrapped it carefully. A plush wolf. Tiny. Gray. Worn soft from years of handling. One ear was torn and carefully restitched. The eyes were mismatched buttons, one black, one blue. Hospital sanitized. Loved. Haunted. The fur was faded in patches where small hands had clutched it for comfort. The stitching was amateur but careful, done by someone who had more love than skill. His name was Elijah, Theo said. My pup brother. Not biological, we were both orphans. But he was mine. I promised to protect him. Dante couldn't breathe. He was 7 when the Alpha Raiders came. Theo continued, voice distant. Remembering. They separated us by designation. Alphas went to military training. Betas to labor camps. Omegas to auction houses. His thumb traced the wolf's restitched ear. Pups went somewhere else, Theo said. Somewhere they don't talk about. Somewhere that pays premium rates for children who won't be missed. Dante's hands curled into fists against his useless legs. I was 16, Theo whispered. I fought. I screamed. I tried to stop them from taking him. They broke 3 of my ribs and told me if I didn't submit, they'd kill him in front of me. Tears tracked down his face. So I submitted, Theo said. I watched them carry Elijah away crying for me. And I did nothing. The plush wolf trembled in his hands. This was his, Theo continued. The only thing they let me keep. I've carried it for 8 years. 8 years of searching records, bribing officials, chasing rumors. 8 years of finding dead ends and false leads and children who weren't him. He looked at Dante. I survived because I refused to believe power was only physical, Theo said. I survived because I promised myself that one day I'd be strong enough, smart enough to find him, to save him, to prove that the men who took him don't get to win. He stepped closer to Dante's wheelchair. If you give up now, Theo whispered, then men like the ones who took my brother win again. They get to keep believing that broken alphas are worthless, that injured people deserve abandonment, that power is only in bodies that work perfectly. Dante's vision blurred. So I don't need your bond, Theo said quietly. I need your fight. I need you to prove that an Alpha King in a wheelchair can still be dangerous, still be powerful, still be worth following. The plush wolf pressed between them. Help me prove them wrong, Theo whispered. Dante reached up with shaking hands and cupped Theo's face. His palms were warm against Theo's tear-dampened skin. I will, he promised. On everything I have left. On my broken body and my intact mind. On my throne and my future. I will prove them wrong. We will prove them wrong. For the first time since the bullet shattered his spine, Dante Moreau meant it. That night he slept without nightmares. And when he woke, Theo was still there, sitting in the chair beside his bed, holding the plush wolf, keeping watch. The lockdown alarm shattered the dawn at 6:47 a.m. The lockdown alarm shattered the dawn at 6:47 a.m. Red lights strobed across white walls. Emergency sirens wailed through hospital corridors. Dante jerked awake, alpha instincts screaming danger before his conscious mind caught up. Gunfire echoed from the east wing. Close. Too close. His door crashed open. Theo burst through, moving fast, eyes wide. Get up. Now. What's happening? Rossi extraction team. Theo was already unlocking Dante's spine brace, hands steady despite the chaos. They're coming for you. Dante's blood turned to ice. How many? 6 that I saw. Armed. Professional. They killed 2 security guards at the main entrance. More gunfire. Closer now. Screams echoed down the hallway. Nurses, patients, staff running for exits that were being systematically blocked. Theo grabbed the wheelchair, positioning it beside the bed. Transfer. Fast. Dante gripped Theo's shoulders and pulled himself across. His legs dragged uselessly, dead weight that could get them both killed. The familiar humiliation tried to surface, but survival instinct crushed it down. The rehab ward doors exploded inward, wood splintered, metal bent. The crash echoed like thunder. 3 men in tactical gear swept through. Black masks, assault rifles, moving with military precision through the rows of teal-padded treatment beds. They kicked over equipment carts, checked behind curtain partitions. They weren't there to negotiate. They were there to execute. Theo shoved Dante's wheelchair behind the bathroom partition, out of immediate sightline. "Stay down," Theo hissed. "Don't." But Theo was already moving. He stepped into the open ward space, placing himself between the gunman and Dante's position. Hands raised. No weapons. Just an Omega in a caregiver uniform facing down armed alphas. "Suicide. Where's Moreau?" the lead gunman demanded. "Transferred yesterday," Theo said steadily. "Private facility. I don't have the location." The gunman raised his rifle, aiming at Theo's chest. "You're lying. I'm a care attendant. They don't tell me where patients go after discharge. Check the records if you don't believe me." The second gunman moved toward the bathroom partition, toward Dante. Theo's sense spiked, sharp, distressed. The Omega panic pheromone that triggered alpha protective instincts across the entire species. It hit like a shockwave. The gunman faltered, instincts warring with training. Even through tactical masks, the biological imperative was overwhelming. Omega in danger. Protect. Defend. But it hit Dante harder. His dormant alpha nature, suppressed by injury, humiliation, and morphine, roared awake. Not to dominate, to protect. Dante grabbed the fallen four-stand beside his wheelchair. Metal, heavy, balanced like a weapon. The gunman rounded the partition. Dante swung. The four-stand connected with the man's skull. Bone cracked with a sickening sound. The gunman dropped, rifle clattering across tile. Dante caught it mid-fall. Muscle memory took over. He'd been paralyzed for 9 days, not brain dead. His arms worked. His eyes worked. His mind worked. He fired from the wheelchair. 3 shots. Center mass. Professional. The lead gunman went down hard, blood spreading across tactical vest. The second one spun toward Dante, raising his weapon. Theo tackled him from behind. No training. Pure desperate courage. They hit the ground hard, the rifle skittering away across blood-slicked tile. The gunman threw Theo off with brutal efficiency. Drew a knife from his boot. Long blade, serrated edge. Dante fired again. The gunman collapsed. Silence. Just ragged breathing and distant sirens and the smell of gunpowder and blood. Hospital security burst through the doors. 6 guards, weapons drawn. Too late but here. Followed by city police and Dante's own enforcers. Marco ran to Dante's side, taking in the scene with wide eyes. "Boss." "Secure the building," Dante ordered. Voice steady, commanding. Alpha authority bleeding through despite the wheelchair beneath him. "Full lockdown. No one leaves without ID verification. Find out how they got past security. Find out who gave them our location." Marco nodded and started barking orders. Dante's gaze found Theo. The Omega sat on the floor beside an overturned rehab bed, shaking. Blood smeared across his uniform. Not his blood, the gunman's, and his eyes were too wide, breathing too fast, pupils dilated. Shock. Dante maneuvered the wheelchair across the room, wheels leaving tracks through pooled blood. He ignored the pain screaming through his healing spine. He stopped in front of Theo and reached down. "Look at me," Dante said quietly. Theo's amber eyes focused slowly. "You're safe," Dante said. "I've got you." Theo laughed, sharp and broken. "You can't even walk. I can still protect what's mine." The words hung between them. Theo's breath hitched. Then he reached up and gripped Dante's hand. His palm was warm, steady, alive. Paramedics swarmed in, checking vitals, clearing bodies, administering emergency care. The ward transformed into controlled chaos, efficient, professional, saving what could be saved. But Dante didn't let go, and Theo didn't pull away. Later, when the chaos faded and the ward was secured, a paramedic approached with concern written across his face. "The Omega," he said quietly. "He's experiencing severe pheromone shock. The distress call he triggered, It was powerful enough to affect the entire floor. His system needs time to recover. Dante's jaw tightened. He saved my life. He almost burned out his own doing it. The paramedic glanced at Theo, who sat wrapped in a blanket, staring at nothing. He'll need support, close monitoring, preferably from a bonded alpha. He doesn't have one. The paramedic's expression shifted to something knowing, meaningful. Then he needs you, he said simply. Dante looked at Theo, at the Omega who'd chosen courage over safety, who'd shielded a broken alpha with his own body, who'd triggered a biological distress call that could have killed him, just to buy Dante seconds. The Mafia King made a decision, permanent, irrevocable. Clear the room, Dante ordered. Everyone out except Theo. The ward emptied. Guards posted outside. Paramedics retreated. Even Marco left without argument. Though his eyes held questions he was wise enough not to ask. Dante and Theo alone. The Omega still trembled beneath the emergency blanket. Aftershocks from pheromone depletion rippling through his system. His scent was muted, exhausted, burned down to almost nothing. Dante wheeled closer, wheels squeaking slightly against the clean tile. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. Theo's laugh came out hollow. "For what? You saved us. You saved us first." Dante's hands clenched on the armrests. "You put yourself between me and armed men. You triggered a distress call that could have killed you. You tackled a trained operative with your bare hands. I didn't think." "Exactly." Dante's voice roughened. "You didn't think. You just acted. You protected me without hesitation, without question, without concern for your own survival." Theo met his eyes. "Yes. Why?" The question hovered between them like smoke. Theo was silent for a long moment, his chest rising and falling with measured breaths as he searched for words that felt true. Then he unwrapped himself from the blanket and moved to kneel beside Dante's wheelchair. "Not submission. Equality. I level. Because when I look at you," Theo said quietly, "I don't see a paralyzed alpha. I don't see a liability. I don't see weakness." His hand found Dante's. "I see someone who keeps fighting when everyone expects him to surrender," Theo continued. "I see someone who fired from a wheelchair with the same precision he had when he could walk. I see someone worth protecting." Dante's throat tightened. "I see someone worth surviving for," Theo whispered. Silence. Then Dante cupped Theo's face with both hands. Reverent this time, not possessive. Gentle instead of claiming. "I don't deserve you," Dante said hoarsely. "No," Theo agreed. "You don't. I can't walk. Can't patrol territory. Can't protect you the way alphas are supposed to protect omegas. I don't need that alpha. What do you need?" Theo's eyes shone with unshed tears and something fiercer. "The one who survives," he said. "The one who adapts. The one who proves that power isn't just physical. The one who fights for something beyond dominance." He pressed his forehead to Dante's. "Be that alpha," Theo whispered, "and I'll stay." Dante wanted to pull him closer, wanted to mark him, wanted to claim him right there in the aftermath of violence and prove to the world that Theo was his. But he didn't, because Theo deserved choice, not desperation, not trauma bonding, not gratitude confused with devotion. "I won't ask for a bond," Dante said carefully. "Not now. Not while you're recovering from saving my life. Not while I'm still in this chair. Not while everything is chaos and blood and fear." Theo pulled back slightly, confused, searching Dante's face for the trap. "But I'm asking you to stay," Dante continued. "Not as my attendant, as my partner. Help me take back my throne. Help me prove the elders wrong. Help me build something better than what I had before. And then you choose," Dante said simply. "Bond or friendship, claim or freedom, whatever you want. No pressure, no obligation, no debt." Theo searched his face for a long moment. "You're serious?" "I'm terrified," Dante admitted. "But yes, completely serious. A slow smile crossed Theo's lips, the first real smile Dante had seen. "I'll stay," Theo said. "On one condition." "Name it." "You stop trying to stand without your spine brace locked." Dante laughed, genuine and startled. "Deal." They shook on it. Outside, sirens still wailed. Police secured evidence. Paramedics treated the wounded. But inside the room, something shifted. Two broken people choosing to be whole together. Marco returned an hour later with a tablet and a grave expression that made Dante's instincts flare. "Boss," he said, "you need to see this." Dante took the tablet. Security footage, financial records, communication logs, all pointing to one person, his former Omega, the one who'd abandoned him, the one who'd emptied his accounts. The footage showed meetings with Rossi family lieutenants, money transfers, encrypted messages detailing hospital security schedules, guard rotations, Dante's room number, and one final devastating image, his ex-Omega handing a file to a Rossi operative outside a darkened warehouse. The attack had been an inside job, premeditated, calculated, sold. Theo read the screen over Dante's shoulder. His sense soured with anger. "He sold you out," Theo said quietly. "He did more than that." Dante scrolled through the financial records, large payments, repeated transactions, dates going back 18 months, before the shooting, before the paralysis, before everything. Marco cleared his throat. "There's more." He pulled up another file. Pup trafficking network, auction records, buyer lists, and there, buried in the transactions, Dante's ex-Omega's name. Not as a victim, as a broker. Theo went very still. "How many?" he whispered. Marco's jaw tightened. 43 confirmed purchases over 2 years. Most were orphans. Some were kidnapped. All were under 12. The tablet cracked in Dante's grip. "Find him," Dante said quietly. Too quietly. The voice he used before executions. "Bring him to me alive. I want to look him in the eyes when I ask him about the pups." Marco nodded and left. Theo stared at the screen. The names, the dates, the cold financial transactions that represented stolen childhoods. "Elijah could be in there," he said hoarsely. Dante took his hand. "Then we'll find him," Dante promised. "All of them. And we'll make the people responsible pay." For the first time in 8 years, hope flickered in Theo's eyes. Painful, fragile, real. Recovery took 3 days. Dante refused to stay in the hospital. Too exposed, too vulnerable, too many access points for another attack. He had himself transferred to a secure Syndicate property, a reinforced penthouse with medical equipment, armed guards, and a view of the entire city. 24-hour security, encrypted communications, safe. Theo came with him. Not as an attendant, as an ally. The investigation moved fast once Dante unleashed his network. Enforcers questioned contacts. Hackers infiltrated encrypted servers. Money launderers traced financial flows. The entire Eastern Syndicate machinery pivoted to a single purpose: justice. The pup trafficking ring was extensive. 5 territories, 12 brokers, hundreds of children over a decade. And Dante's ex-Omega, whose name he no longer spoke, sat at the center like a spider in a web of horror. Theo stood at the penthouse window watching the city lights. The plush wolf sat on the nearby table, its mismatched button eyes reflecting street lamps. He'd barely put it down since the revelation. "I need to tell you something," Theo said quietly. Dante rolled his wheelchair closer. "What?" "When I requested your assignment," Theo began, "it wasn't random. I'd been tracking pup trafficking networks for 3 years, following money, identifying buyers, building cases that authorities wouldn't touch." His hands clenched against the window glass. "I found a connection to the Eastern Syndicate 6 months ago," Theo continued. "I didn't know it was your Omega. I just knew someone high in your organization was involved. Someone with access. Someone protected." Dante's chest tightened. "You came here to investigate me." I came here to find the truth. Theo turned to face him, amber eyes blazing with determination. I thought maybe you were complicit. Maybe you knew. Maybe you were part of it. Silence hung heavy. And now? Dante asked. Now I know you're not, Theo said. Now I know you were betrayed. Used. Set up by someone you trusted. Someone who wore your claim and slept in your bed while selling children. He moved closer. Now I know we're hunting the same monster, Theo whispered. Dante reached for his hand, gripping it firmly. Then let's hunt together, he said. The breakthrough came on day 7. Marco burst into the penthouse carrying a folder and wearing an expression of grim satisfaction. Behind him, 2 enforcers carried equipment cases. We found him, Marco announced, and we found the network's main facility. Dante took the folder. Warehouse district, abandoned factory, heavy security, guard rotations, blueprints, and inside, holding cells for children awaiting transport. Currently containing 16 pups. Theo's breath caught. Is Elijah? We don't know yet, Marco said carefully, but there's a 7-year-old boy matching the description you provided. Dark hair, brown eyes, crescent-shaped birthmark on his left shoulder. Theo's knees buckled. Dante caught him, steadying him with one arm while the other gripped the wheelchair. Strong hands, steady support. When do we move? Dante asked. Tonight, Marco said, before they relocate the pups. We have a 6-hour window. After that, they transport them to international buyers. Assemble the team. Full tactical gear. I want overwhelming force. No casualties except the brokers. The children come out alive. All of them. Marco hesitated. Boss, you can't. I'm going, Dante said flatly. In the chair, on crutches, dragged behind a fucking car. I don't care. I'm going. The lieutenant knew better than to argue with that tone. Theo grabbed Dante's arm. This is dangerous. I know. You could be killed. I know. You're asking me to watch you go into combat when you can't even walk. When you're still healing. When you're vulnerable. Dante met his eyes. I'm asking you to trust that I'm still dangerous, he said quietly. That paralysis didn't take my mind, didn't take my aim, didn't take my ability to lead. Theo stared at him for a long moment. Then he leaned down and kissed Dante's forehead. Soft, lingering, promise. Come back alive, Theo whispered, or I'll never forgive you. Deal. Dante left at midnight with 12 enforcers, 2 tactical vans, and a customized wheelchair with hidden weapon compartments and reinforced frame. Theo stayed behind, safe, protected, terrified. He picked up the plush wolf and held it against his chest. Please let him be there, he whispered to the empty room. Please let this be real. Please let me get him back. Outside, the city held its breath, and the Mafia King in a wheelchair rolled toward war. The warehouse was exactly as intelligence described. Concrete fortress, rusted metal siding, guard towers at each corner, chain-link fencing topped with razor wire. Dante's team approached from 3 directions. Silent, professional, lethal. Marco signaled the breach. Flashbangs exploded through windows. Doors crashed inward. Enforcers swept through with military precision. Gunfire erupted. Brief, controlled, decisive. Dante rolled through the main entrance surrounded by guards, weapon drawn, eyes scanning every shadow. The holding area was in the basement. Down 2 flights of stairs he couldn't navigate. Sir, one enforcer said carefully, we can bring the children up. Carry me, Dante ordered. 2 guards lifted him, chair and all, and descended into hell. The basement smelled like fear and bleach. Metal cages lined the walls. Small faces stared through bars. Pups ranging from 5 to 12, dirty and terrified and heartbreakingly small. Theo's description echoed in Dante's mind. 7 years old, dark hair, brown eyes, crescent birthmark. There, back corner cage. A small boy with dark curls and enormous brown eyes, clutching a worn blanket. The birthmark was visible on his shoulder where his shirt had torn. Elijah, Dante said quietly. The boy's head snapped up. How do you know my name? His voice trembled. Your brother sent me, Dante said. Theo. He's been looking for you. Elijah's eyes filled with tears. Theo? He whispered. Is he still alive? Very much alive, Dante said. And he never stopped searching. The cage door opened. Elijah stumbled forward into an enforcer's arms, sobbing. Around them, other pups were being freed. Blankets distributed. Medical attention summoned. Names recorded. 16 children saved. But the night wasn't over. Dante's ex-Omega was found in the administrative office, surrounded by files, money, travel documents, planning to run. Marco dragged him into the main warehouse space and forced him to his knees in front of Dante's wheelchair. The beautiful Omega who'd once whispered promises, who'd worn Dante's claim, who'd shared his bed, now revealed as something monstrous. Give me one reason, Dante said quietly. Why I shouldn't kill you right here. His ex-Omega's face twisted with contempt. You're weak, he spat. You can't even stand. You think you can still rule? You think anyone will follow a crippled alpha? Dante smiled. Cold. Terrible. I just raided your operation from a wheelchair, he said softly. I freed 16 pups you sold. I dismantled your network. I did it all without standing once. He leaned forward. So tell me again about weakness, Dante whispered. His ex-Omega had nothing to say. Life in prison, Dante ordered. Maximum security. No parole. I want him to live long enough to see every single child he sold get justice. Guards dragged him away, screaming. Marco approached with a tablet. The other brokers are being rounded up. The buyers' identities are being forwarded to federal authorities. The network is dead. Dante nodded. Then he looked at Elijah, who sat wrapped in a blanket with a paramedic checking his vitals. Let's go home, Dante said. The boy deserved to see his brother. The penthouse door opened at 4:47 a.m. Theo stood in the living room, still holding the plush wolf, eyes red from hours of waiting. He looked up when the security team entered, then froze, because behind them, Dante rolled through in his wheelchair, and beside him walked a small boy with dark curls and brown eyes. The plush wolf fell from Theo's hands. Elijah! The word came out broken, disbelieving, a prayer answered after 8 years of searching. The boy's head snapped up. His eyes went wide. Theo! They crashed together in the middle of the room. Theo dropped to his knees, pulling his brother into his arms with a sob that shook his entire body. Elijah clung to him, small hands fisting in Theo's shirt, crying into his shoulder. You found me, Elijah whispered. You found me. I never stopped looking, Theo choked out. Never. Not once. I promised I'd find you. Dante watched from his wheelchair, chest tight with something that felt like hope, like redemption, like the first proof that broken things could still protect what mattered. Marco cleared his throat. The other 15 pups are being processed through protective services, medical care, family reunification where possible. We'll follow up personally on each case. Dante nodded. And the brokers? Custody. All of them. The evidence is overwhelming. They'll never see daylight again. Good. The guards filtered out, leaving the 3 of them alone in the pre-dawn silence. Theo finally pulled back enough to look at his brother. Really look, taking inventory of scars and shadows and the years they'd lost. Are you hurt? Theo asked desperately. I'm okay, Elijah said, scared, but okay now. Theo's gaze lifted to Dante, found him sitting quietly, giving them space, giving them time. Thank you, Theo said hoarsely. I don't have words for... You don't need words. Dante's voice was rough. You saved my life. I returned the favor. This is more than... It's exactly even. Dante held his gaze. You gave me a reason to survive. I gave you back your brother. We're square. Theo stood slowly, one hand still gripping Elijah's shoulder like an anchor. He crossed to Dante's wheelchair and crouched down. bringing them eye level. We're not square, Theo said quietly. We're partners. Something shifted in Dante's expression. Surprise, relief, hope. Partners, he echoed. I'm staying, Theo continued. Not because I owe you, not because I'm grateful, but because I choose you. Elijah watched them with curious, intelligent eyes. Is he your alpha? The boy asked. Theo glanced at Dante, at the Mafia King who'd proven that wheelchairs couldn't stop justice, that paralysis couldn't kill power, that broken bodies could still save lives. Not yet, Theo said carefully, but maybe one day. Dante reached up and cupped Theo's face with both hands. When you choose me, he said quietly. Not when you need me. That's the deal. Theo smiled, genuine and bright and devastating. Ask me again in 6 months, he whispered. When the Syndicate is stable, when your throne is secured, when Elijah is healed, when we're not just surviving but living. And then I'll say yes. It wasn't a bond. Not yet. But it was a promise. Dante pulled Theo close. Not possessive, not claiming, just grateful, and pressed their foreheads together. Outside, dawn broke over the city. The Mafia King couldn't walk, but he'd won anyway. Won his throne, won his justice, won the loyalty of an Omega who saw him as more than his body. And in 6 months, when healing was further along and trust was deeper and the future felt less like survival and more like choice, Dante Moreau would ask the question properly. Would offer the bond on Theo's terms. Would prove that true power was never about standing. It was about refusing to fall. Even from a wheelchair. Especially from a wheelchair. Come back to bed, Theo said softly. All of us, we've earned some rest. They moved together, Alpha, Omega, and Pup, toward the bedroom where morning light filtered through bulletproof windows, where safety existed, where family was being rebuilt, where the future waited, not perfect, not healed, but alive, and fighting. Always fighting. The end.